Okay, so how this trip came about. When I first moved to Boise and started dirt biking, I think like a lot of people, originally started riding 8th Street in Idaho City. And then as I started meeting more people, my circle started expanding. Um, Started driving a little bit further, I realized just how much there was to ride in the area. And be spending a weekend, say, riding like the Southern Baumgartner stuff. And then looking at the map, I'd be, wow, we're just, we can connect into this area and then this area. And so over the winter, I started to plan a route out to connect as many of the areas that we frequent as I could. And it came up with this. The goal was to hit all of our favorite riding areas, camp off the bikes every night, and make it a loop without crossing back over the loop. There's a couple spots like going into Ketchum where we kind of do an out and back. Didn't count that, but didn't want to cross over. I wanted to make it a loop. So we got fairly close, kind of near the Stoley Meadows stuff and fairly close near Crassel, but we were able to make a full loop out of it. When I got the whole route planned out, it was just shy of 900 miles, and Mike came up with the name the Norris 900, so we started referring to it as that. We were going to do it summer of 2019, but Dell's eye kind of got messed up, so we decided we were going to just bump it back to the next year. So planned it for 2020. I'd already had kind of the route fairly planned out, had all the gas stops measured or mileage between gas stops measured. So as the time got closer, kind of got together with Jared and Dell and sat down and started worked out all the details in terms of where were we going to camp each night. But that is sort of how the trip came about. Connect all the best stuff.
It's not really single track. It kind of is. And then Warm Lake.
And that's end at Warm Lake on Wednesday, right?
So yeah, let's see.
So we started at Lick Creek.
Yep.
Yep. And Warm Lake, and we'll have gas there too, right?
And I think that'll be a day. We won't need to do any more than that. We'll get dinner.
We're gonna get
we'll get a burger at Warm Lake
there.
Lodge. Yeah, in the area. Maybe not like at Warm Lake, but maybe like out in Stoley Meadows somewhere.
Okay. And then, are we gonna talk to them about stashing gas there?
Yeah, we'll call them.
Here we've got our 2 drops ready. So this one's going to be at Deadwood. So we got 2 dinners there. We will have just stopped at Stanley the night before. So we're not going to need a ton in that box, but some air filters, more coffee, that sort of thing. And then Lick Creek. This is our bigger box because this will be instead of going to the grocery store in McCall. So this has a little bit more in it. Breakfasts, lunch stuff, dinner stuff, and then have trail mix, dried fruit, peanut butter and jelly, tortillas. Alrighty, we are about to take off. We are a week minus a day from the start of the trip. So Jared and I are heading up this weekend to do some last minute trail clearing and to leave some stash boxes of food. We got Lick Creek and Deadwood, and then got, see in the back, a couple gas jugs. We're going to leave those.
Danny, 1 week out from go time, right?
Slightly less than a week out.
So prepping up some lunch here.
We just last night drove in, dropped one drop box off at the Deadwood Outfitters, and then the rest of this weekend we are riding some of the trails that are particularly loggy and get as much cleared as we can before we leave, and then one more drop box off a Lick Creek Road, and then bike prep and we're leaving. Alrighty, so it is Wednesday night. We leave Friday morning, so we're just getting together, do a last couple bike details. Setting the sag for having the bigger bags on. Getting the chainsaw ready to go. Gonna sharpen the chain that's on it and have that as a backup, and then we got this brand new one to put on. And since we're all on 4 strokes, I did the math on the size of tank on these 201s and how much oil we would need per tank. So this is just a 60 ml syringe full of just plain premix. And so when we run a tank out, we can just undo the quick connect on the bikes, fill it up, and then just put 6.5 mils of premix in, and we're ready to go. And then we also consolidated first aid kits and toolkits, so we're not carrying too much. But tugger strap, all the tools we feel like we'll need, spark plug wrenches, extra spark plugs, and then consolidated the first aid kit, so we'll split that up between us. And then just getting Jared's bike ready. Got a tugger strap on it, may or may not need that, and setting the sag on that, and then we should be just about ready to go. All right, here we are, first stop. We're like an hour outside of town. Just got done with some very cold road transferring, and now single track starts. First gas stop, Idaho City, trying to make it to Baumgartner tonight, so we'll see how that goes. Here's the first gas stop. Jared and Mike are getting snacks, and we'll be off to the mountains before too long. Your tugger strap doesn't match at all.
I know.
Oh well. This is Sunset Lookout. First lookout of many. These Troy Lee jerseys, you like stop back there and like sweat for a minute and then get going on a transfer. You're like, oh, it's chilly. They work so well. Oh. Hungarian Ridge. How many miles in are we now? First lunch stop, first day.
We are 77 miles in.
Shit. Good work, boys.
77 miles.
77 miles already. It'll be a high mileage day, but nothing too hard. Like, we've already ridden the hardest like stuff of.
This isn't bad up here.
Yeah, no, none of this is. But you've ridden this before.
Oh yeah, this is where it came out at, huh?
Yeah.
This is what we rode at the end of the year last year.
Yep. And then we rode.
Oh yeah, then turn left.
Exactly. Yep. I was thinking Hungarian, but we were short on time and gas, and like it was.
Oh, there's no way.
Yeah, there's no way.
No way. Dude, I would have halfway up the hill ran out of gas.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's for lunch, Mike? What did you bring? PB&J or just PB?
PB and honey.
PB and honey. Dell and I have turkey, bacon, avocado. What does Jared have?
I have
Swiss?
I got Swiss, cucumbers, red onions, honey mustard, ham, and salami with some romaine.
Sounds delicious. We already have one casualty of the trip here. Jared's bowl. Looks like he's going to be eaten off the ground for the next 10 days. Alrighty, we just got to camp. It is 8:22. Nice spot by the river. We got gas and dinner in Pine, and then transferred on the road. A little bit of single track after that. 178 miles today, and now we get out of these stinky clothes and go to the hot springs. Alrighty, it is morning of day 2. Still at Baumgartner. Mike just left. He joined us for the first day, but he's got family stuff to do. We are gonna get to catch him by lunchtime. Just gotta muster up the courage to put our gear on and start riding, because it's pretty chilly. We're all bundled up. Yeah, and get Jared going again. He's being slow. But last night, Mike and I walked up to the hot springs, and Dell and Jared stayed back because they thought it would be too busy. And we get there, and there's no one in the pool, and we're so excited. And we're changing into our swimsuit, and Mike gets all done first, and he's in his bare feet and swimsuit and wades into the pool, and it's completely empty. He's just standing in an empty pool in his swimsuit, and it was so sad. So no hot springs last night, but we're trying to make it to a hot springs tonight. Riding into Ketchum, gas, food, some supplies that were forgotten or lost or broken, and then back into the single track, and it's going to be another long day. Not as many miles as yesterday, but a lot more single track. Alright, it's noon on day 2. We just pulled into Ketchum, gassed up, and then split up. I went to the grocery store to get the next 2 days worth of supplies. And then Dell and Jared went to a gear shop. Jared had to replace his bowl. Dell had a headlamp fall out of like a side zipper pocket. Then they're gonna get a pizza. We're here in a nice little park here on the edge of Ketchum. So I'm just waiting for them. Eat some pizza and then headed back to the mountains. We did, let me think. I think we've done 70 miles today so far. Decent amount of transfer, and then some like just super easy, fun, flowy single track. The rest of the day is going to be a little bit harder. So we'll see how that goes. But goal is to make it to Bowery, I think is what it's called, Hot Springs, tonight. Try to camp there. On food restock, got some good stuff. I dehydrated some veggies that I've been carrying with me, and then got some like pasta sides for dinner, bars, cookies, almonds, that sort of thing. But I'm looking forward to pizza right now. Dell and Jared just got here. Did you get your headlamps and bowls and everything? Mm-hmm. That was successful. And they got, what's on this pizza? Pesto, sausage, feta?
Yep.
Yeah, that looks real good. Next minute, pizza's all gone.
Where to go?
Where to go? Back to the mountains we go. So we just rode some trails up and out of Ketchum. We're about to head back over to the East Baumgartner side. And the trails we just came down on are seasonal. They're like moto trails, but they're only seasonal. They close August 30th, and today is August 29th. So we're hitting them the last possible day we can ride them. I don't know if it's good luck or amazing planning, but either way, we got it perfect. It's like 3 o'clock. We still have a lot of single track to ride. We just came down and crossed this creek. Particularly steep downhill rough trail. After riding, we were spoiled with just like flowy single track all morning. We got a nice rest spot over here, and then we have another pretty tricky trail uphill, so we're resting and filtering some water. We've been doing this gravity filter, dirty water through the filter. You can see it going there. This thing is so satisfying. Now we got 4 liters of clean water ready to go suffer in the heat. We'll be well hydrated. That's a fun trail. Oh wow!
It's with the tape.
Yeah. See those hands. Oh. 150 miles today. 178 miles yesterday.
We're the third of the way done.
Yeah. Whew. Shoot is still goes there. Yeah. So, been having fun with the food vacuum. So, whole meal worth of dehydrated food is like that big. So it's got dried onions, garlic, zucchini, mushrooms, peas, and Swiss chard, all dehydrated. And then we have that with some Alfredo pasta, and then add in some tuna, courtesy of my mother in the Amish store. It's a very beautiful morning. A little cold. I think we're gonna go to the hot springs, but we're making coffee here. Had some trouble with the whisper light this morning. We had to take that apart, clean it out, and it's working great now. And Jared decided to sleep in this little shanty here. Doing his old man stretches over here.
Working it out.
And left all our clothes, or most of our gear in here, so it didn't get all dewy in the morning. But as far as little shanties go, it's not bad in here. Morning of day 3. Got my coffee. I don't know if you can see camp over my shoulder, but the main reason that I wanted to camp here last summer, we found this hot springs, and it's amazing. It is, you'll see, it's like a 2-minute walk from the camp. Or it's actually, where we're staying right now is a guard station, and I don't know if it's like actively used, but there's like a little fire pit sort of camp picnic area just right next to the guard station. Alrighty. The camera battery died from the cold this morning, so we're about to leave, but I did want to get some video of this hot springs. We got to soak here after our 150-mile day last night and drinking our coffee this morning. Look at this! It's a hot tub. Got the East Fork of the Salmon River right there. Got a deck. That's perfect. You got views of the mountains. And down there, you got a cold plunge. And this is hot, hot, hot water. This pipe coming in is like straight from the source. And it's quite hot. And then this other one comes from over there, and that's like lukewarm. But between these buckets filled with creek water and the hot and the lukewarm, you can regulate the temperature like perfectly. And it's not the biggest tub. It was pretty full with three of us in it. But it's a nice hot springs, very nice. And now I'm just waiting on Jared and Dell to finish up. We're headed to Custer Lookout today. It's gonna be tight on gas. Jared and Dell yesterday took a wrong turn and went like 10 miles out of the way, 10 miles back, and it was already gonna be a little bit tight on gas. So we'll see. There's plenty in this guy, so I may end up dumping some of mine into Jared's to get us to the next gas stop. But today's like a much shorter day mileage wise. We did 170 the first day, 150 yesterday, but today should be 45 to 60, somewhere in there. Some harder stuff, but we had a pretty lax morning. Slept in a little bit, soaked in the hot springs, but should be a good day. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's compared to the last 2 weeks of just smoky smog we've had, it is like beautiful today. So it's going to be an excellent day to sleep at a lookout. And it's getting close to a full moon too, which is going to be awesome. So I think those guys are almost done. And we'll hit the road. Alrighty, so we made it like 2 miles down from camp, and Jared realized that he forgot his phone in that little shanty he stayed at. So while we're waiting, yesterday Dell's back. Is it still there? Oh yeah. There's that good welt on his back. And that was like the bottom of his chest protector. The backpack was like digging into it and then pushing it into your back.
It was like one spot where the bottom of the chest protector, like all the weight was right there. I sort of felt it, but it wasn't until get ready to get in the hot tub that I realized there was a problem. So cut the back of the chest protector off, and now we are attaching the front to the neck brace.
And then using the backpack as back protection.
So we're gonna try this.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna work
zip
really
tie
well.
it on there, and yeah, it looks, yeah,
legit.
Good, patent pending. And now Jared took my bike back because his bike is going to be very close on gas, I think. What are you working on, Jared?
Well, my strap here either burns or cut through. I don't know.
Is it hot there?
Hot piece of paracord is, or whatever, webbing. And So anyways, I'm trying to tie this up with some paracord. Make a modification so that it can get by. For another 700.
Yeah.
I think I cut my paracord too short. Idiot.
Rookie mistake, man. Where'd you learn to cut paracord? After that, we're heading up that ridge past the Trump building. It's at least it's a subtle sign, you know. The letters are only like 12 feet tall. What you doing there, Jared? It's a highfalutin wash machine you got there.
Like that.
Yeah.
Put your washing machine.
It smells good.
At least there's that.
Did you put it on the gentle cycle? I don't want you to harm any of the clothes in there. That is so weird looking. I bet that water is gonna just be like gray. Doing laundry. We just gassed up at Sawmill Station. Got so much food. We got like 6 people's worth of food. But it was amazing. Now we're on our way to the lookout. We camp out a little bit more single track. Today was a much more mellow day.
You want to shake? You want to shake?
Ah! Yes, quite the kitchen we've got here, huh? Alrighty, it's 7 a.m. Woke up with the lookout. Belle and I slept up here. That direction doesn't look too bad. Should come over here. Oh boy. I think we're getting snowed on this morning. Okay, we're all suited up. It's a little brisk. About to head down the mountain that direction into this winter wonderland. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's snowing at us. Spitting. Headed to Stanley.
Custom fit can liner.
Alrighty, we just came down off the mountain and snow turned to rain. So we're preparing for that. The rain is going to make the dirt excellent, but unfortunately today is our longest transfer section. So we're bundling up.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
Rain pants, backpack covers.
Yeah, no backpack cover for Jared.
No backpack cover for Jared. That is quite the bag you got there though. What's that for? It's like roasting a turkey in?
No, it's a trash bag.
What you doing, Daddy?
Well, when we took off this morning, I noticed my tire was low, so I filled it up. Rode down to the bottom, changed into all our rain gear, went to take off again, and it was flat again. But found the hole, plugged it.
Found a nice dry place to do your work.
It's beautiful. Alright, resupplying Stanley. Got a whole bag of groceries here. Bunch of goodies. Load that back up. Fill up the water. And then back into the wilderness. There's a fire up north of Deadwood, and that's where we're headed today. So I'm not sure what kind of closures there's going to be, but we shall see. We might have to alter the route a little bit depending on what's closed, what's open. Just came off some good single track. Wasn't quite as dusty. Rain seems to have stopped for now. Still quite overcast, as you can see. But we have one of the longer transfer sections of the road, or of the trip, coming up, so suiting up for that. Just got gassed up here at Deadwood. We got our stash box. Oh boy. So your fresh gloves?
I don't know, fresh gloves.
Those Jared's fresh. Oh no, those are for the oil change. That's right.
Oh, I see.
You got a filter in there somewhere.
Oh, air filter, right?
Yeah, that one's yours?
Yep.
Oh. There we go. And this is your bag of, what's that word we learned today?
Sundries.
Sundries, your bag of sundries. Coffee, filters, look at all that good stuff. Earl. Hey, I'm not going to spill a drop. Are you guys ready for this? Oh, I spilled a little bit. Oh, it's nice and warm on my fingers. Will you grab a wipe out for me? We should have all come in with Biden flags on our bikes.
We ought to give him some kind of comment about that.
Got a crush washer here. That have been zip tied in, saving right for this exact moment. Just got to camp. 143 miles today. It was a lot of road transfer, even more than initially planned. There was a fire north of Landmark, and a lot of the trail we had planned to ride over there was all closed, so we ended up transferring over towards the Crassel stuff. It was a pretty rainy, cold day today, and we're gonna hit up another hot springs tonight. So similar mileage, same. Tomorrow's all going to be the same. Ended up riding some new stuff today. It was pretty fun. But right now, well, down there by the river, doing some laundry. Jared is setting up the tent and filtering water, and I'm chefing up some dinner here. We picked up a stash box from Deadwood. So dinner's chicken jambalaya. So it's a little bit interesting. There's a dehydrated box of jambalaya mix like this, and then have some packets of chicken and rice. But it should be hot and spicy and delicious. So we just finished dinner. How was it, Jared? The jambalaya was, are you making more, Dell?
Well, there's some peanut butter left to use.
Wow.
Somebody has to do it. So I'm going to take one for the team and have some more of this red pepper flakes with a little bit of rice.
To make it even slightly palatable, we had to put peanut butter
Like this.
and pretzels in it. And even then it was a little bit of a chore. But, you know, gotta do what you gotta do when food is limited. I'm doing some more backpack repairs here. By the end of this trip, that pack's gonna be,
It's not gonna have a top.
it's gonna be duct tape with a little bit of backpack. Dishes are done. Walked about, I don't know, quarter mile up the road. And down to another private hot springs. What a life we live. What a pool, huh? Whew. Alrighty. Well, we've made a little more progress up this new to all three of us trail. And in the words of Steve Lacy, it's gotten pretty western. So I'm gonna hike back this just nasty hill climb and see if the boys need any help. Yeah. How we doing?
The rocky one.
I bet Jared's having a blast. I'm gonna go see if he needs any help. It benches out right up there. Ooh. Whew.
Try not to destroy the trail.
I know. We just got back, or just got off of that trail. It was excellent, all the way up, all the way along the ridge, all the way down. And now we're back down to stuff we've ridden before, or are more familiar with. And we just stopped for lunch in this beautiful place. Not a bad lunch spot at all. Oh, it actually works pretty well.
Leather and fabric, surprisingly well.
Yeah. And flesh and bone. Alrighty, we just burned through our first tank of chainsaw gas. So just took this syringe, premix, put in 6.5 mils, and then come over here. He's got this little spout on his bike. Fill her up. We've been like 500 miles and only use one tank of chainsaw gas, which is insane. So thank you to everyone who's been cutting. We cut a bunch this spring, but obviously you can't cut it all yourself. But huge shout out to everyone who carries the saw. Hey, I'm going to be through with two of my buddies tomorrow afternoon on dirt bikes, and I was just calling to make sure you guys would have some gas available for us to buy.
I'm sorry.
Between the three bikes, the most we would need is like probably 8 gallons.
The most I would need is like 10 gallons. All right, we should be able to do that.
Awesome, that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Alrighty, we made it to Duck Lake. Pardon the noise, it's Delbert's fan. Quite a pull up here. Originally our plan was to camp here. It's quite nice, as you can see. But it's early enough and we're feeling rather ambitious. And Delbert wants cheesy pasta for dinner.
By we, he means Danny.
So,
But yes, Delbert wants pasta.
So we're going to push a little further, at least to our Xena Creek stash, because there's pasta in there, and then we'll decide from there how much further we're going to ride tonight. I just pulled up to our second stash spot, Xena Creek Ranch. Pretty nice place here. The owner Jim let us stash some stuff under his bulldozer. We got a couple gas jugs there, and then left our food box up here. Lick Creek. Oh, Lick Creek goodies. Oh, look at all that food. Oh, corn nuts. I forgot I brought corn nuts. And trail mix. There's your creamy pasta, Delbert.
I'm excited.
Just got to camp after the restock. 105 miles. This is one of our favorite camp spots on the Seasesh River here. Got a bunch of food. Making some cheesy pasta tonight. It's gonna be amazing. When we were here in the spring, clearing trail, I think it was like middle of June, beginning of June, this river, it was raging. It was, you can see, water came right up to here. I would stand on this rock and it was raging and it would splash on my toes. And now, the water's all the way down here. Seasesh River. We had some perfect weather today. Day 5 in the books. Getting all packed up and changed this morning. We look over at Delbert's bike. I don't know if I can see him still, but he's got a stowaway somewhere.
Nelson wants to come back to Boise with us.
Yeah. I looked over while I was changing it, and there's a mouse sitting on his header pipe. Where are you, little fella? Dell just took off with Stuart Little on board, and now we're doctoring up Jared's flesh wound. You were at least doing something really cool, like going faster, hitting jumps when you got this wound, right?
Oh yeah, I was doing a heel kick
Yeah.
off of a rock.
Yeah. Something freaking sweet. Oh man.
Fucking going like 3 miles an hour across in a rut and fucking skid across a burnt log. That's real nice. Oh, and I had elbow guards in the backpack. But, you know.
It's somewhere real useful, you know.
Like not on my elbows.
We stopped to shed layers. We've been on the single track for a while and it's warmed up significantly. And we've been waiting for Jared, which is nothing new, but we've been waiting a little too long. So I think we're gonna hop back on the bikes and see if we can find him. Well, we found him. Bike troubles, no injury, which is good.
Might be a bit concussed, I don't know.
Might be a bit concussed. You hit your head on that hard?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Whew.
Stopped here.
Did you just not see it, or did it bump you up into it or something?
I ducked and I still hit it.
Oh shit. So we're gonna tow him up a little bit and see if we can get a bump start going. Oh, they got it. I hear it. It's running. There's something wrong with it though.
So, anyways, yeah, no, so I whacked my head. Stopped there, tried to start it with the start. So I tried to give, kick, nothing. I was like, alright.
It didn't, like, you know when you kick it, the fan kicks on, it never kicked on?
No, because it wasn't hot enough for the fan to be
Oh,
anyways, so,
sure.
But what'll happen is this little heated grip thing, it'll flash. The LEDs will flash when it gets a boost. And I saw that, but it still wouldn't fire over. So I took all the luggage off, took the tools out, took the seat off, tried the jump pack. And then when I put the jump pack on, the first thing, it was like, it lit up green, and I got a little boop, and then that was it. It didn't start, and then that was the rest of the jump pack because the battery was so low for me charging my phone. So that didn't work.
Oh, the battery on the jump pack was so low?
Yeah.
Do you, with the jump pack, do you have to take the seat all the way off and clip it on, or can you plug it into the SAE?
I had to close it on.
Oh, that's right. And the SAEs have blown fuses from last weekend.
Yeah, yeah. And that, which I replaced already.
Okay.
But then, like, this battery is also one of those anti-gravity batteries, so I think it has like a cap that it stores juice in case the main battery dies. You're supposed to be able to hit the button, give you enough juice to start the bike like multiple times, right?
Yeah.
I hit the button, and it was like, oh, and then nothing. And I was like, well, I guess I just sit here and wait. So then I put everything back in the bag, put everything back on.
Do you think it would be beneficial from now until we get to the hard shit to have your fan unplugged so you have as much battery as possible?
I could, yeah. I mean, it's not gonna hurt.
Jared's pack was tearing away from the strap down here. Made a quick modification to that, secure it, and then the battery, or the stator, seems to be charging the battery just fine. We came down and unplugged the battery, or the fan, from the radiator to give the stator as much time as possible to charge up that battery so we can use it for the e-start before we get on the hard stuff today. Ideally, the plan was to get the hard stuff over with in the morning while it's nice and cool, but it's noon right now, not so cool, so it's going to be an interesting afternoon. Found a very pleasant lunch spot, nice and cool. Oh, there's a lot of cutting in the hot environment getting here. We talked about getting here, riding here last night, and I'm so glad we didn't. That would have been real messed up. It would have been dark and we would have just camped wherever we were, I'm sure. Filtering water, eating some food, and then we have some very gnarly trail ahead of us. It's gonna be a long day, short miles, but a full day. We'll earn our Warm Lake burgers tonight for sure. Well, we're riding up Buckhorn. Don't totally gas yourself, because we have a decent amount of riding after that.
Some hope.
So if there's a spot you're really just hung up on, stop a minute and pull through it.
But the goal is to not have to dab a foot. Keep your foot in the foot pegs the whole way up, right?
Yeah. If any of us dab a foot, gotta start from the bottom. On that last section, we were doing a bunch of cutting. I hit a rock so bad, hiding under the brush, so I'm gonna swap out the chain. We debated whether we were gonna take a file or not, but we decided taking 2 chains is better than a file. Hopefully we don't regret that. We'll not hit any more rocks. Alrighty, we're about halfway up the hard shit. Just stopped for a breather. A little bit cooler here. Oh, what do you think so far, Jared?
Good.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Making his way up with a almost bald tire on a 525 and no auto clutch. And saddlebags. Yeah. Alrighty. See you at the next stop. Made it to the top. To the top. Whew. It's all downhill from here. Look at that beautiful country. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there's a couple rocks around, especially in the trail. Whoa. Now down to burgers. That away, actually, that away. last of the stuff today, about 6 o'clock. We got 2 more trails to ride and then some transfer before we get to Warm Lake. We're pushing a little bit, get there hopefully in time that they're still serving food. We have plenty of food to eat, but it's not burgers. So I'm just waiting for the dust to settle and then keep pushing. Fingers crossed they're open late enough. Worst case, we eat our dehydrated shit and hopefully they serve breakfast in the morning. Well, we made it to Warm Lake before they closed. Got some giant burgers, chicken wings, burgers smothered in chili, beer, and a nice view. I don't know what else to say. Breakfast. We're gonna gas up, sleep here tonight. Breakfast in the morning, and then more single track. We camped just down the road from Warm Lake Lodge, or North Shore Lodge, last night. Filling up gas and water this morning. And then Dell's ground pad's leaking pretty bad. So he just essentially slept on the ground last night. So we were talking about pushing and trying to make it all the way back to Boise today. Dell's quite motivated after the night's sleep he had last night. So we'll see how that goes. We didn't really get an early start since we ate breakfast here, but it was the first real breakfast we've had in a week, so it was worth it. Decent amount of miles today, but a bunch of pretty flowy, easier single track, and then a bunch of dirt road transfer after that. So let's see if we can get back to Boise tonight. It is 3:40. We've been riding a lot and not stopping very much. I think we've done 70 miles so far. Stopped to eat a little food and refill our water. It's a hot one. It is a very hot one today. Keep riding. See how far we can make it tonight. The last decent chunk's all dirt road, but still a lot of time sitting on a moto seat. Alrighty, Friday morning, last day. We were pushing pretty hard yesterday, get into Crouch, but decided not to go all the way back last night. So we camped near Crouch, got some dinner, came to town, got some breakfast and gas. And now headed dirt road all the way home. Should be an hour or two. Back in Boise.